Now, with Big Faust.
Good morning, everybody. Okay. Hey, Projo, on my side, I hear echoes. So what do I do with that? Do I just turn off the, do I just take the mic out, or how do we handle that? All right. I just need you to tell me. Once you figure it out, just let me know, buddy, and we'll move forward from there. Okay, guys, good morning. I hope you guys, it's funny. The reason I brought that up with Joe is it's like I hear echoes. Try to stay cool wherever you can. The water can help. We're at 6:06 on a Tuesday morning, Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, Projo alongside. Hold on, everybody. Thank you for your patience. I think our technical issues have been, now I have to start over here. Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're here. All right. Maybe we just shouldn't start the show till like 6:10.
I don't know.
If we started at 6:10, maybe everybody can get on the same page. We are grateful and ready to rock with you this morning. July 22nd, Arch City Now, here till 8 o'clock, and ready to keep you guys up to date with everything that's happening throughout the St. Louis area. What's going on in your neck of the woods? What's going on in your town? Give us a shout out. You can jump in on the chat line. We are on X and YouTube. Once again, you can find us on X and YouTube, Arch City Now. You can give us a call if you want to as well. 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. LouInfo.com is our website where you can go to and check us all out. Everything that's happening in our area with our networks, our shows. Once again, LouInfo.com. All right. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show as well. Coming up today on the show, St. Louis public schools are, they're in trouble. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of problems that are going on. There was financial issues, people leaving the city of St. Louis, just calling it how it is, not wanting to send their kids to St. Louis public schools, moving elsewhere. Then you had the tornadoes of May 16th. Now you've got 37 schools closing, 31 remaining. It's really bad. We'll jump into that situation. Matthew Tkachuk is a very positive note. After winning the second straight Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers, he was back in the area this weekend, got married on Saturday, took the Stanley Cup to Children's Hospital yesterday. What a time. What a period of life for Matthew Tkachuk these days, that's for sure. Southwest Airlines has a new situation that's coming in. Assigned seating, that's coming up July 29th. That's going to be a little bit different than what Southwest has had before. We'll talk about that, get you updated on some of those things. Cardinals won last night. Of course, like I said, they have to sweep the Rockies just to maintain where they are, because the Rockies are the worst team in baseball, and it's not even close. Cardinals got the job done last night, as they should have. Still 8.5 games behind first. Emos listing its headquarters for sale. Its production facility. They're looking for something more of a long-term deal. We'll get into that. 11 high-paying jobs that people might look down on in the St. Louis area. You can check that out. Also, Spaghetti Wars, a pilot series, will be debuting July 26th at a St. Louis filmmaker showcase. We'll talk about that as well. Anything else you guys want to get into this morning? That's what the show's about. We focus on you guys, everything from a St. Louis standpoint. 6:09 is the time. We're ready to get going. Projo, you ready? You got everything going on now?
Yeah, we still have issues with the commercials, but it's we'll deal with it.
I know you've been here since 4 a.m. trying to get some things taken care of. for whatever the reasons may be. But anything you guys want to get into, that's what we're here for today. Thanks for
Well,
joining us.
we had power go out again last night, so everything reset.
Oh, yesterday. Yeah, but you were here early.
Yeah, well,
Guys, the sun is coming up this morning. No rain today. Yes, there was rain yesterday. Some more of those pop-up storms hit all around the St. Louis area. We just want to be able to ensure that we get things going there. Cardinals win, like I said last night. That was big, right? They're 52-49. So, hey, it could be worse. They're playing the Rockies. They play again tonight. When it comes to first place, they're 8.5 games behind the Brewers. Not the Cubs anymore. That's unfortunate. But when it comes to the wild card spot, they're 3.5 games out of first place. So, and several teams to catch. At least they looked a little bit better winning. So 2 more games in Colorado before they come home for 4 games this weekend with the San Diego Padres. Once again, San Diego Padres coming to town. And then when it comes to sports standpoint, did you ever get into wrestling, pro wrestling?
no.
The AEW said that their Wrestle Dream event will be held October 18th at Chaifetz Arena. It's going to mark the 7th time that the AEW has held its event in St. Louis, with its all professional wrestling promotions locally being hosted at Chaifetz Arena. That's pretty cool. They said that they're thrilled to be able to bring the AEW Wrestling Dream to St. Louis on Sunday, October 18th. The city has hosted an impressive list of iconic events throughout the years. So they're going to be bringing that in. 100 events annually. Khan, by the way, is the son of Shad Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL and the English Premier League's Fulham Football Club. Very interesting. Very interesting. So that'll be coming down the pipeline. We'll see where all of that comes on. AEW, if you guys want to jump in, you can do that as well. Let us know on the chats from that standpoint. There's concert tomorrow night. Lee Brice, special guest Peyton Smith, over at the Factory. And that's part of WIL's Boots and Bourbon series. 6:30 is the time. Should be an interesting thing to do over there. By the way, we told you about this last week, and you want to get your tickets now. It's happening pretty fast. And I just really cool what they're doing. But the St. Louis Music Festival, the Evolution Fest, which we talked about last week, they're going to use and donate $100,000 to the United Way. So what they're doing is Evolution Festival and Mati, MATI, are going to, they announced that the net proceeds from the ticket, merchandising, concession, and parking sales are going to go to the United Way of Greater St. Louis. They're going to use that money to assist tornado victims. What a really, really classic, just amazing move. Steve Shankman, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, just talking about the producing and promoting the Evolution Fest, said it's really St. Louis's festival and the state's festival. We couldn't think of a better charity or organization to partner with than the United Way because they get out to so many organizations. So he hopes the focus is on the charitable giving and that it's going to lead to an increase in ticket sales. He also pledged at least $100,000 to the United Way, regardless of how much the event brings in. By the way, proceeds from the festival's lawn passes have been pledged to the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis as well. The Evolution Festival is the 27th and the 28th of September. It'll be here before you know it. They're trying to sell as many tickets up front as they possibly can. It's going to be over at Langenberg Field in Forest Park. Lenny Kravitz, TLC, Father John Misty, Public Enemy, Sublime are among this year's performers. So, congrats. The other thing is, they said that they wanted to directly impact the organizations that are on the ground doing the good work, helping the community before the tornado, through the tornado, and will be there on the ground with them in the future. Just a yeah. So they're continuing to do this. Great job, Steve Shankman, Evolution Festival. You can get your tickets online. And $100,000 to the United Way. That's a really, really big deal. Glad that they're able to do that when it comes to the St. Louis area, making sure that they can get as much get in stuff as they get out. Projo, Shane Gillis, you're getting ready to go to a concert that's coming up in a few weeks. I think that's August. Is that August 9th?
Yes.
Shane Gillis. My girlfriend asked me the other day, she's like, do you think Shane Gillis is funny? And I'm like, And she's like, if you had to pick one comedy show to go to in St. Louis, would it be Shane Gillis in August or Matt Rife in September?
Shane Gillis.
And you know what I said? Matt Rife.
Yeah.
And not just because that was the right answer for her.
Right.
But here's the thing. But I never knew of Shane Gillis. And we all have, Shane Gillis is super funny. The Trump impression got me. Like, I saw him in the Super Bowl ads and I didn't think he was funny at all. And it's not being negative. Like, we're all different. There's different
He didn't
things.
write those jokes, though. That's a commercial.
I know. And I'm like, oh. When I saw him do the Trump, I was like, okay, this guy is really good.
Just like the ESPYs, he didn't write any of those jokes. Well, he might have wrote a few.
And then the ESPYs, I was like, yeah. Did you think he was that? Did you see?
I thought it was funny. Again, half of the jokes were written by other people.
Why? Okay, why is that? That doesn't make sense to me.
Just because the ESPYs want, I'm sure they have their own writers, so they want him to.
The ESPYs allowed him to make fun of the WNBA when
that was probably his joke. However, I'm sure that there were other people involved in the writing.
Okay, I was like, I'd like.
But he even mentions during it that he's like, that wasn't my joke. I didn't write that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
that wasn't my joke.
Right. Now, if he's up on stage on one of his shows, he wrote every one of those jokes.
Okay, I don't know enough about him yet.
Right.
Whereas Matt Rife doesn't stand up and tell jokes that much, does he? And so he just plays off the crowd.
I think a lot of what his fans like is the crowd work that he does. However, he does a lot of stand up. I think
he does too.
There's just a portion of his show that he does crowd work.
All right. Just trying to get caught up with the comedy, the shows that are headed to the loo in the next couple months.
Right. In all fairness, they all do crowd work. So
okay, that makes sense. I get it. It's all good. All good. I appreciate that, buddy. As we welcome people back into the show, where do we want to go here? By the way, if you see this headline, so Matt Rife, and I'm wondering if they'll both be sold out for what they do.
I would imagine so. They're both pretty popular comedians.
Is this the time of year that it works? It's just interesting that both those guys hit St. Louis around the same time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think comedians know each other and talk?
Oh, without a doubt. I don't know about those two specifically, whether they talk to each other, but I'm sure they run in the same crowds.
Could you imagine what that would be like? All these comedians sitting together.
It'd be a blast.
I mean, really trying to figure out who's going to talk and who's not and who's listening. Are you talking all over each other? I know that's kind of like what it would be when you put all the old St. Louis or the old Saturday Night Live comedians together. Maybe even now when they're trying to put shows together. What's funny, what's not, being kind, maybe not being so kind. What was that you sent me?
That was Eli. He sent
Oh, thanks, Eli. I appreciate it.
Oh, he does a whole special about crowd work.
Oh, very interesting.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently I'm going to that Rife show. I'm getting tickets to that Rife show.
Oh, I hope you sit up front too.
No. That would not happen. Hell freaking.
If he's doing crowd work, nobody is off limits.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to hide. I want to hide. Joe, do you ever think that you would get caught? This is so crazy. There was a woman who sold fake gold to a Festus man. This story makes me go, huh? What? So she's literally accused of selling several fake gold bars to this guy over a 2-month period. This was according to the Festus Police's Department of Probable Cause statement. So I'm like, so do you promote it? I mean, who's buying gold? Do you know anybody that's buying gold bars out and about throughout the St. Louis area?
Well, a lot of preppers, definitely. People are I shouldn't say prepper. There's people that collect those right now. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, the victim said that he purchased 14 1-ounce gold bars from Alyssa D. Robert on 5 occasions over the last year. Robert would visit the victim's home to make each sale. So the victim bought 2 bars at a time and paid the woman $4,000 in cash with each purchase.
Do you remember when everybody was? Do you remember when everybody was taking their jewelry to these gold places? We buy gold. We buy gold.
Yeah,
now everybody's trying to buy it back.
Oh yeah. The victim only learned that the bars were fake after taking them to be examined. You think? Yes, that's my deal. It's like the probable cause statement didn't say what substance the bars were actually made of. So when he reported that they were fake, I guess he contacted police first, not the woman who sold him the bars.
Well, yeah. What good would that do?
Yeah. So busted. Can't do that. That's going to be a bad deal. Hey, by the way, I hope everybody has air conditioning. If you don't, check on those who don't. I know we say it a lot. Right now, today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, heat index at near 100, over 100, close to 110. These are the kind of days you do not want to be dealing with that. I mean, literally the difference between going outside and inside. It's also, and we'll talk about this a little later too, where you may have problems with HVAC systems. I mean, because you'll have attics that are 140, 50 degrees, and then the air, and then condensation, and then water coming out. Then we had the rain. It's like, oh my gosh, we're getting hit with all of these things that are happening. So, yeah, just be ready. Even with your kids can get wiped out when they're outside. If they're playing, if they're even in a pool, those things can certainly take you down a little bit. And we're certainly going to be getting hit with that. We've already started to get hit with it when it comes to the weather that we're now getting throughout the St. Louis area. Lots of heat issues, lots of things that weren't quite ready for, but now we're getting it because it's July. And there's a lot of practices that are going on as well throughout the area. We always try to hit you with a lot of headlines in the first break, the second break, just of things that we've got, things that will coming on. There's also a proposal right now. It's so bizarre that's going to close half the schools in St. Louis public schools. That's going to be presented at a board meeting tonight, which would potentially leave half of the city's neighborhoods without a public school. It's just so bizarre to me that this is going on in St. Louis right now. So the proposal is suggesting closing 37 schools, which would leave 31 schools remaining at the start of fall 2026. So not this school year, but the following school year. So that would really change the landscape of St. Louis public schools. I mean, but things have changed. A lot of people have left St. Louis. Then the tornado. I mean, once again, as we've said before, if you have issues, you can't just hide them and say, oh, we got no problems. Everything's fine. You got to call them out. It's not fun. You get a little bruised talking about what you need to be better at. 850,000 residents back in the 50s. Now, under 280,000, if that high. That's bad. And then you talk about the enrollment. We're talking about the enrollment to be just about 12,700 in the next 10 years. Kids, that's a city that's not going to stay alive. That is a serious deal for our area. How do you change it? I don't know. What do you do? How do you change it? I really don't know. And of course, teachers who want to keep everything the same in the teachers union are saying all the right thing. Well, yeah, people don't want to live next to a boarded up school. They want to, yeah, of course they don't. So what's the answer? How do you change it? If you don't have people who live in the city to send their kids to school, and you don't have schools that are able to operate from a financial standpoint, what do you do? What are the answers? I have zero idea. Zero.
Probably going to boil down to online education.
Really? Okay, why do you say that, Pro Joe?
Well, just because that's the easiest solution to it.
But that's not going to bring money into this. That's
no.
I
but it's going to give education to people.
No. Kids sitting at home instead of going to public school. I don't see it. I just don't.
Yeah.
We tried that during COVID, remember, and it got mixed reviews at best. Yeah. I don't know. It's just these kids are going to get put in other situations. Well, the tornado is what really, they were already struggling. Then the tornado hits and you're like, oh my gosh, we've gone from bad to worse if possible. 7 schools, those damaged schools, are not going to reopen this fall. And the district is already expecting to lose up to 2,000 more students this summer due to displacement. And you're like, okay, what is the future? Literally, what is it? School starts in less than a month. And what are we going to do to make things work? How do they structure the school district so it helps provide the best possible opportunities for families in the communities? I don't know. Everybody's been looking at this. You've got to come up with some plan somehow, some way to try somehow to get. The only way you're going to keep schools open is with money. And then does it make sense to keep a school open if you're only going to have 250 kids in a school? Averaged out.
What's the price of
And it's not a private school.
What's the price of uneducated kids, though?
No,
250 of them.
Correct. That's a sweet thing to say.
No, I'm saying what's the price of them being uneducated versus...
I know.
Yeah.
But where are you going to get the money? And are you really going to continue to throw money where you don't have enough money? You just don't have enough. So I really don't know. And it's like, this has been a problem. The can's been kicked down the road. Yeah. So we'll figure that out. We're not going to figure it out. We'll talk about it. Hopefully somebody else can figure it out. But you talk about reviving a city. The only way you're going to get people there is through safety, and they're doing some things, and we'll talk about that in the next break. We got to take a break. But they've got the entertainment district now, that big circle of trust that I call it, where they're going to have police officers around locations downtown or security officers. But then you've got to somehow find a way to get people to live downtown with families, and then you've got to have public schools for them to go to. It all connects, and right now the dots don't connect. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. That was the voice of Pro Joe. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back. You can check us out at luinfo.com, but watch us on X and YouTube at Arch City Now. Matthew Tkachuk back in town yesterday, a positive note. We'll talk about what he did coming up after the break. We are the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at luinfo.com.
The Hour in STL Radio, a high-energy, high-impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of this city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life in your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station.
The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not sure how to get a lawyer after an accident? Call Brown and Crouppen. We'll walk you through it. Worried it'll cost too much? Here's a fact. At Brown and Crouppen, you pay nothing up front, and we never get paid unless you do. When you're our client, you'll have all your questions answered, all for free. Hurt? Get the facts and help you need. Call Brown and Crouppen.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City. 314-344-4400.
LouInfo.com news headlines brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A Ferguson woman is facing charges after Chesterfield police say she and two others pulled off a high-dollar theft at the St. Louis Premium Outlets and then led officers on a high-speed chase. Employees estimate a group of three stole more than $7,700 worth of clothing. So far, the woman from Ferguson is the only one charged in the case. St. Louis homicide detectives are investigating a stabbing after a person was found dead in the 5600 block of Chamberlain Avenue. No arrests yet. New rules are coming to the St. Charles County libraries for challenging books. Beginning August 1st, library staff will review complaints first. If appealed, 6 of 9 board members must agree to remove a book and read it themselves. The move follows 11 book ban requests since last fall. An extreme heat warning continues today for St. Louis and surrounding towns. Heat index values up to 110 degrees are expected. The warning continues through 7 p.m. on Wednesday. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com. I'm Jen Austin.
Now, LouInfo.com weather, presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports, anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. The extreme heat warning continues today. We'll be getting sunshine, afternoon high air temperature in the mid-90s, with that heat index right around 105. We do have a slim chance of shower. Overnight, a few clouds, upper 70s, more heat and humidity coming up on Wednesday. Sunny, and we're in the upper 90s, heat index about 110 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu. Don't freak out. Hot Shots favorites are still there, like the famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger sandwich, the Buffalo chicken pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
If you've been thinking about improving your smile, now's the perfect time. Hi, I'm Dr. Otto from Otto Orthodontics. We offer free consultations, the newest techniques, and treatment that is faster, more comfortable, and tailored just for you. Whether it's Invisalign, braces, whitening, or even Botox. We're Missouri's #1 Invisalign provider with 5 convenient locations. And here's something special. Mention this ad when you call to schedule your free consult, and you'll get $1,000 off your treatment. Visit OttoOrtho.com to book your free consult today.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the West.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
St. Louis expression.
Stream our content 24/7 at LouInfo.com. The Lou Information Station. Back to more of Arch City Now with Big Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Appreciate you're with us. Okay, we'll have to change that back then. Yeah, thank you, Projo. Appreciate it. 6:34 is our time. 7:22. It is July 22nd. I know we're not to August yet, but you can call them the dog days of heat in the summer already. Hot. We know that's going to be happening as the sun comes up today. You walk outside, you feel it. You just try to stay as cool as you possibly can. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Letting people know what we're doing here at Arch City Now. We focus on everything St. Louis related, and that includes you guys. What do you want to talk about? What's moving the needle for you today? What's happening around our terrific town? You can watch us on YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Once again, YouTube and X at Arch City Now. We are just trying to push forward, focus in on newsmakers. The news, not only the newsmakers, but the headlines. You name it, that's what we're doing. We're focusing on anything positive that we can with the city and pushing things forward. What's happening, making news. One of those newsmakers is Matthew Tkachuk. He's already a St. Louis icon. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup winning champion, not doing it in the city for the Blues, but winning back-to-back, going to 3 straight. Leader of the American team, the American hockey team. Once again, if he would have been healthy, we would have beat Canada. Whether Canada hockey fans don't want to hear it, but you saw the team we had when he was healthy playing, and then when we played him in the final, it didn't look as good in the Four Nations. Anyway, a Chaminade product. Then he goes on to be one of the best players in the NHL, one of the best leaders, no doubt about it. Family royalty with Keith Tkachuk, his brother as well, Brady Tkachuk, also a top player in the NHL. So yesterday, he was back in town, bringing the Stanley Cup. They get the Stanley Cup for a day, each player on the team, if you didn't know that. They can go do whatever they want with it. I mean, life is great for Matthew. He got married on Saturday in St. Louis, has a Stanley Cup yesterday on Monday, walking around St. Louis where he grew up part of his life. And here's Matthew Tkachuk talking with local sports reporters. Everything about being back in town and why he was here. So just enjoy Matthew Tkachuk.
It was 1 year ago you were here at St. Louis Children's Hospital. What's the significance to bring the cup to this place in particular?
Yeah, it's a really important place for myself and my family. We've been involved in Children's Hospital wherever I've been throughout my whole life, even going back to my dad playing, he was really heavily involved. So when I was told that my day was today, the 21st, the first thing we decided and what we wanted to do was bring it here to the Children's Hospital. So we're doing that first. Normally they say save the best for last, but I think when it comes down to this, the best part of my day is this first stop. Seeing the kids, seeing their faces, seeing their smiles, it just brightens up your day. And I think the rest of us, don't really truly understand what they're going through. And there's probably some really hard, tough days for them. But if I can have, 1 minute of their day, that makes it, such an incredible experience for them. That's what it's all about.
How does today feel relative to last year, doing it all over again?
Yeah, it's a very similar itinerary for myself this year, and just really looking forward to it. When you know kind of what's coming and the reactions you're going to get, it just makes it so special. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be coming in contact with this baby today. So it's what it's all about. I'm just really excited to share it with family and friends.
So you were just assigned today. It just a nice coincidence that it coincided with Saturday as well.
It helped that it was close, so there's some family that was able just to stay in town since the wedding on Saturday. So crazy few days, but a lot of fun, a lot of happy times. Saturday was absolutely incredible, and today's going to be amazing as well.
So the past just 365 days, you got 2 cups, you get married. Where does getting married rank on just the scale of how the emotions felt winning the 2 cups and getting married?
Well, she's right behind you, so it's obviously the best day. No, it was absolutely incredible. Saturday, it's I say we've been planning it for over a year, but Ellie was doing mainly all of the planning, and she did such an incredible job and truly made it just such a special night. And it was a talk of the town, and it was just such a great night for us, and she did such an incredible job, and it was just the whole weekend and everything that led into it was awesome, and cherry on top on Saturday.
And you went through a lot of adversity, especially in that postseason run. When you think about those moments, how much of a relief was it for you to be able to see you guys get to the finish line, being able to contribute in the way that you did?
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, if we would have not finished the job, it would have been just so. It would have been so upsetting, and so wouldn't have made anything worth it. You know, when you think about going through and playing through it all, if you even if you lose in the finals, like, you didn't accomplish anything. So I think for us to finish the job, it made it all worth it. Made that 2.5 months of just getting myself okay enough to play. In playoffs, those were some really tough days, and I mean, you're still feeling a little of the effects even in the summer during some of the rehab I'm going through now. So, yeah, it just winning the cup, it makes it all worth it, and it makes me standing, touching it, kissing it, everything. It's all worth it.
When you go through this day last year, you go through the day today, you see what Bill did in the offseason and bringing the crew back. How much does that even contribute to the feeling going into next year?
Yeah. It's still so early in summer. I really haven't allowed myself to think too much about next year yet, but incredible July 1st or around that free agency time for us to be able to bring everybody back, or mainly everybody back. And it's just the greatest asset you can have as a team is experience, and our team has it. So, you know, we're going to go into next year and just try to be a playoff team to start, and then when we get there, see what happens. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
If you think it Matthew Tkachuk, there's a little bit of time to actually sit back and take some of what Matthew Tkachuk is and what he has in. Just a really, I mean, this is a 2-time Stanley Cup winning champion player. Obviously, his dad taught him well. Keith Tkachuk obviously played in St. Louis, and he's a representative. I mean, he is a representative for St. Louis wherever he goes, coming back. He didn't choose the Blues to play for, but I don't blame him. I understood why. No tax, no income tax in the state of Florida, Projo. I get that. And at that time, they had some really good players that were going to play there. And he proved that he made the right decision. They've won 2 Stanley Cup championships. And we just love to see him getting back into St. Louis. So thank you, Matthew Tkachuk, for the example that you are and what you're trying to do throughout the St. Louis area. That is for sure. Cardinals won last night 6-2. They're 3 games over 500, 8.5 games out of first, 3.5 games out of the wild card. They play again in Colorado tonight and tomorrow. And then they come back home on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They'll come back to a lot of heat. The Padres will be in town too, another team who they're competing with when it comes to the wild card. So a little bit of intrigue when it comes to that standpoint. So it is what it is. Here we go. Mr. Projo, you love culinary shows. You were at one point going to be a chef, correct?
At one point I was a chef.
Oh, for how long were you a chef? I thought you were just in school to become a chef.
Oh, no. Yeah. I worked at the Ritz-Carlton.
That's right.
I was the overnight chef at the Ritz-Carlton. So
the Ritz has some pretty good food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What makes good food? Seriously, because if you're behind, like, you go to the Ritz and then you go somewhere else, what is it? Is the head chef really the person that decides what kind of ingredients and what you're making and how you're making it? Or
I think the quality of the food has a lot to do with it. However, a good chef can make some poor quality food taste 5-star.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's the difference.
There's something called Spaghetti Wars.
Oh, God.
The pilot is debuting this weekend, July 26th, at the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase. So tax credits from the Missouri Film Commission were huge in making the Italian food-themed reality show pilot shot in St. Louis a reality. Had you heard about this?
I have not.
Okay, it's called Spaghetti Wars. An Italian food-themed show, reality show filmed on the Hill. It's going to make its debut with an advanced screening of the pilot episode on Saturday, 7:30 this weekend at the High Point Theater. It's a one-time screening, and it's part of the St. Louis Filmmaker Showcase, which is going to be going on July 18th through the 27th. And it's going to feature 75 locally made films. So what they're trying to do, I mean, Patrick Pepe Kim, have you ever heard of him? A chef and veteran, local restaurateur with deep Italian roots, says the series pits family teams against others in a lively cooking challenge that they describe as a blend of Top Chef, The Sopranos, Family Feud, and Shark Tank. So it ends, this is a pilot, by the way, with a big night style dinner for 100. It was filmed last November at the former Viviano's Market on the Hill. So if you're interested in that, we'll see if it catches steam. Maybe it's something that it's about 40 to 50 minutes. I don't know. Maybe it will. Tickets, by the way, to the event are $15. And you can find out more at stlouismag.com about getting the tickets. Italian Wars, feeding 100. The Spaghetti Wars, bring them on down. But it is something interesting, too, that happened in Missouri. You had $1 million plus size of production as proof of just how unique it was. The 6 local audio guys had always competed against one another and had never worked together. But now they were able to work together because of the Missouri Film Tax Commission. So I'm looking at some of the pictures of the people. Yeah. We'll see if it goes through. Bring up Spaghetti Wars. Debuts once again, July 26th. See if it's any good. When you start to hear that, what do you think? What are your initial impressions?
I'm thinking, why not something more challenging like Lasagna Wars?
Well, maybe Spaghetti Wars will be. Maybe it'll get into lasagna.
Maybe.
Best spaghetti in St. Louis. Is there a place? Is there a choice?
Spaghetti Factory, I guess.
You did not just say that. No, you did not just say that.
I don't go to a restaurant to buy spaghetti. I'm just saying.
You don't?
No, I don't. Yeah, no, that's not my top thing to order at all at an Italian restaurant. No.
Not the Spaghetti Factory, and with all due respect.
Right.
Love it. That's funny. Okay. All righty then. Hey, speaking of those shows and things that are heading on in the St. Louis area in this segment, there's an art fusion gallery. It's going to host a record-breaking first show in St. Louis. It's titled The Art of St. Louis. It looks to showcase local artists and support the local art community. They're going to be doing this soon. It's Friday night from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Art Fusion Gallery. David Weaver's hosting the event. He's the director and curator. Art Fusion Gallery in historic Laclede's Landing. So it's Friday night from 5 to 9 p.m. It's called The Art of St. Louis, which we were just talking about. He's going to be involved in opening 9 art galleries across the St. Louis region. 9, that's a lot. So they feel like it's a great opportunity for artists to get exposure and sell their work at the same point in time.
Well, with AI, that's where everything's going, is art.
How is that? What have you seen because AI does so much?
Well, AI does art, but so do humans, and AI can't do human art.
So what was your point?
The point is AI is taking over everything. However, the one thing it can't take is art.
Creativity.
Right.
I could see that. Art Fusion Gallery had a show last April. Allegedly, it was a success, record-breaking sales, promising future for the gallery. And there is an art scene in the St. Louis area, and we're going to have an artist coming up on the show in the next few weeks as well. So Weaver also has put together events like Taste of St. Louis. He started that in 2005. But he considers this exhibit the largest curated gallery event that he's ever produced. So that's in St. Louis. And it's awesome to hear and see, and especially when you get a chance to promote St. Louis and the talent that's here. And we know what a great place this is to live. We know that there are a lot of people who live here. And, it's just another of those things that's going on. There's always something that's going on, especially throughout the area. You just got to find out about it. You look for them, you talk, you check out some of these events. That's what we try to help people realize, the things that we find out, that we see. Of course, we're going to show you and bring that to you as well. Speaking of events, and we were just talking Italian Spaghetti Wars, Emo's making some news. They're not going anywhere. If you see the headline, Emo's just listed its headquarters and production facility downtown St. Louis. I think it's right there by what's the entertainment center for kids in the St. Louis City Museum?
Yeah,
I think it's right by there.
Yeah, it's real close.
They've been there for what, 10 years, about 10 years, something like that. So they operated its main distribution and production facility in that area by the City Museum. So they're seeking a new long-term 15-year master lease with some renewal options. So they're selling that facility, or at least they're trying to sell downtown. So where would they go?
Yeah.
That's what I was like, where could emos go? And they're looking for,
I'm going to say west somewhere.
Do you think?
Yeah.
The local pizza chain. So yeah, that would be interesting. Very, very interesting. It says emos would remain at the site as part of the sale. I'm not exactly sure what that means.
It'll probably still that they're going to sell that facility. However, the restaurant will still be there.
Oh, okay.
Because they do training, and I think there's other parts of this facility that they can lease out.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, but you could, like I said, you could see the headquarters of emos moving out of downtown St. Louis.
That is perplexing.
And finding another location. I don't know. It could be something interesting. We'll see. Something else that's going on too. There's some news making headlines. We're trying to get to all the headlines in this first hour and get to them a little bit later as well. But Southwest Airlines also is making news, and we've talked about it, and it's coming up. By the way, everything was fine at the airport this last weekend. The Seventh-day Adventist conference 2 weeks ago gave St. Louis Lambert a lot of bad publicity with lines going all the way out into the parking lot because everybody arrived at the same point in time. But the airport, we're happy to report, was just fine over the weekend. But now you've got Southwest, because travelers are going to experience another Southwest airline change. And we knew this one was coming, but on July 9th, now you have their change with the seating process. Before, you couldn't get assigned seats. Now you do. Southwest has changed. Of course, Southwest Airlines, as we know, it's the largest carrier for flights in the St. Louis area. So they took away their free bags policy earlier this year, if you didn't realize that. But now another change from the airlines coming on the 29th, next Tuesday. They introduced assigned seating for flights that will start January 27th of 2026 and afterward. So they're moving away from checking in 24 hours before departure. That's when, I've been there. When passengers are racing to try to get the best boarding spot possible. Oh my God, I don't want to be in A, B, or I don't want to be in B or C or C72 or whatever it may be, and not be able to have a seat. So they think that it's going to be more comfortable and easier. Their quote was, "For your comfort, we're introducing seat options that allow you to choose the experience you prefer. This includes options where you want to sit and upgrade to an extra legroom seat, giving you more choices when you travel with us."
Yeah, way to stoop down to Frontiers level.
On the right. Oh, what do you mean? Why?
Well, that's
why
what they do. That assigned seating. They were too good for assigned seating before. Now all of a sudden they're not.
Well, they say that the extra legroom seating comes with more premium features. So seating will be near the front of the cabin and exit rows, with up to 5 additional inches of legroom. Also, earlier access to the overhead bin, better snacks, and complimentary premium drinks offered as well. So some of the changes that Southwest Airlines is now going through. They did say that the extra leg space is going to differ by aircraft, because what they're doing now, this is nice. Think about this. 5 additional inches of legroom.
That would be nice for us tall folks.
Available on their 737-700 aircraft. The extra legroom seating is available for passengers with preferred or standard seating for an additional cost. I could see myself doing that, no doubt about it.
Oh,
Passengers with extra legroom seating or those who upgraded will be with groups 1 and 2. Groups 3 to 5 will be for passengers who selected preferred seating. Everyone else will be in groups 6 to 8. Loyal customers or reward members have priority seating. That's not surprising. So basically, here's what they said. Southwest trying to do this. Largest carrier in the St. Louis area, offering the most flights. They say the goal of this shift is to maintain an efficient and orderly boarding approach that is optimized to assign seating, prioritizing customers into boarding groups based on their seat location. Our premium fares and our most loyal customers will have access to better seat types and will board earlier in the process. So get ready when it comes to that. Southwest is also allowing passengers to purchase priority boarding 24 hours prior to departure. You can just go to the website. They'll have more information for you. So Southwest jumping in, making some news. That's coming up on July 29th. Okay. All right. We know about it. I mean, I don't know if it's one of those things that I don't know if it really changes our lives, but it is news. It's happening in the St. Louis area. It's like, okay. All right. All right. This is Arch City Now. We appreciate you guys being with us every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. What's happening throughout the St. Louis area? Who are the news makers, the headlines, the people we try to put a spotlight on? That's what we do. The stories that are making news, whatever it may be. You let us know. Jumping on the chat line. You can do that at Arch City Now on Actually, it's Arch City Now on YouTube and X. Once again, YouTube and X, Arch City Now. You can learn all about our show and other shows all throughout the network. That's luinfo.com. Once again, luinfo.com. The phone number to give us a call is 855-282-8255. Once again, 855-282-8255, luinfo.com. And if you have any information that you'd like to give us, story ideas, people that we would be able to interview that you like, you can also email us, archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. This is Arch City Now. The other voice is Projo, our producer. I am Vic Faust. We will be back after this quick break. We'll continue to focus on everything that's happening throughout the St. Louis area. A couple things also going on around the St. Louis, events that are coming up we'll get into as well, and take it from there. We are the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at luinfo.com.
Wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plan, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. That's 800-891-6335.
Hey, listen to me. I'm one of the credit cards in your wallet. I'm about to explode and pop like a balloon. You're using me and my brothers way too much.
Your credit cards aren't the only ones annoyed. It's your paycheck that doesn't have enough to pay everything. Save your credit card, your paycheck, and yourself a lot of PAIN. Pain. Call the debt helpline now, not tomorrow, right now. Our experts will show you how you can cut your interest rates and your payments on your credit cards in half. Credit card companies have special assistance programs designed to help you. Make this 100% free call right now and learn how you can get out of credit card debt. Here's the number.
800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. That's 800-406-6569. Paid for by Zero Debt.
The Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
I'm John Summers. The Pentagon says it's withdrawing hundreds of U.S. Marines from Los Angeles.
They were deployed there in response to anti-immigration enforcement protests across the region. The announcement comes a week after the Defense Department said half of nearly 4,000 National Guard troops deployed to the LA area would be recalled as well. They had been deployed to protect federal buildings and personnel. I'm Mark Mayfield.
ICE officials say agents will continue to use masks in the field. Acting Director Todd Lyons said agents can carry on with masks in the field despite criticism. The practice limits identification of its personnel. During an interview, Lyons shared he is not a proponent of the mask, while also adding he will allow it if it is a tool to help keep agents and their families safe. Pushback against U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem after a Border Patrol agent was shot by an illegal alien in an Upper Manhattan park Saturday. Noem accused Mayor Adams and other sanctuary cities of creating an unsafe environment.
Let everyone know that had nothing to do with the rules that are put in place. I just carry out.
That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you're bringing the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even need to know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198. Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. That's 800-891-6335.
The Lou Information Station presents Art City Now with Vic Faust.
Hey guys, I guess we're back. 7:05 is our time. Vic Faust here, Art City Now. July 22nd. Projo alongside as well. Guys, we're here ready to rock and roll. Thank you. Welcome into our show. All things St. Louis today, Art City Now. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on X, Art City Now, YouTube and X. Also, you can check out everything about our show and the other shows that we have throughout the network. LouInfo.com. Once again, LouInfo.com. And you can give us a call if you want to as well. The phone number to do that is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. If you want to email us, you can do that as well. You can do that at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. We talk about the headlines, what's happening throughout the St. Louis area and so forth. Obviously, big talk about continues to be the weather. We got hit with some storms yesterday. We knew about that. Then, of course, the heat came. And now we are in a pattern where literally there are heat warnings all throughout the St. Louis area for this week. I mean, they're talking about a warm and muggy start today, literally hot afternoon today, the next 4 or 5 days, heat index well over 100, maybe even approaching 110 on a few of those days. Could also lead to a possible pop-up storm again. That could be later today, but not for the rest of the week. So we're getting used to this. You know, you're talking about what, 95 today, something like that, 97 tomorrow, 98 Thursday, 94 Friday and through. So yeah, these are days where you're inside or you're in very, very cold water but yesterday there was some cloud cover too. Today we're supposed to have sun and lots of sun, and it hits us over and over again. I mean, it is summer. It's St. Louis. I get it. But now it's heat. A lot of heat. So you don't want to be dealing with any of the air conditioning situations, HVAC situations. Those are the things that could obviously cause you a lot of problems. Other thing, Cardinals not in town. They're playing. They're in Colorado playing the worst team in Major League Baseball. Thankfully, they've got the series with the Rockies, the worst team in baseball. They won last night. Had 15 hits, which was good. So they've got to win the next 2 games just to keep track, to keep point on everything that's going on. They'll come back Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to some of that hot weather. Maybe it'll be some hot baseball as well with the Cardinals. Padres coming to town as well. But it is interesting when you start to look at things. It's like even going outside, you can't really sit outside right now, Projo. You know, you just can't sit outside in the summer. Whether it's, you know, getting drink, getting food. I mean, it's just difficult.
Yeah,
I
go to take my dog out and I sit down for like 2 minutes and I got to go back inside.
Are you serious? That bad for you too?
Yeah, it's bad.
Have you noticed your pets outside in the weather too in the area? Like they don't want to be outside as much?
Yeah, he's ready to go in before I am.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Not really running around.
Yeah, he's got a big black fur coat.
Yeah. He's like, hell no, get me inside where it's air conditioned.
Right.
Don't want to be dealing with that stuff. I don't blame him either. So that's a sports standpoint aspect that's going on. Love that. Also, news from the area, things. By the way, a lot of pro wrestling fans in the St. Louis area. I went to the last event. I'm trying to remember when that was. Was that back in March, April? Maybe the April time period? Gosh, I don't remember. It was down at Enterprise, though. We went down and watched with my girlfriend, her son, into the wrestling crowd. What is it now? The WWE
WWE,
still?
yeah, I think so.
But the AEW is now coming to St. Louis in October. It's Chaifetz Arena.
I love their onion rings.
Who's onion rings?
AEW. Oh, A&W. Sorry, I got it mixed up.
I was like, Chaifetz? Chaifetz has good onion rings?
My bad.
October 18th, the AEW will be in town for their professional wrestling event. Said they'd love coming here. Tony Khan, he's the son of Shad Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, the Fulham Football Club from the English Premier Soccer League. They said they love coming to St. Louis. Of course, we know St. Louis has a long history with professional wrestling. So that's coming up October 18th so that people know what they can do. Something to plan, something to look forward to. Talking about events and things that are going on throughout the area, staying inside. Lee Bryce, an acoustic evening with Lee Bryce, special guest Peyton Smith. That's part of WIL's Boots and Bourbon series. That's going to be at the Factory tomorrow night. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. You can still go to their website. You can purchase tickets to that event if that's something that gets you excited. If you like Lee Bryce, something to do to get inside, stay inside, do something there. I mean, tickets aren't too bad to the Factory, in the 60s up to like 100, maybe even a little bit more. It's not horrible there. Terrific venue, a great place to go inside, watch a concert. That's for sure. Also, it's just something that's happening this week, something we talked a little bit about earlier in the show as well. You've got the Art Fusion Gallery Friday night, 5 to 9 p.m. Yes, that'll be hot. That's going to be down at Laclede's Landing. Just trying to take the St. Louis art scene and ramp it up a little bit. They had their first show, the Art Fusion Gallery, last April. They said it was a success, record-breaking sales. They said that it indicated a promising future for the gallery and artists from all over the St. Louis area. You get involved to get noticed. Get your work out there, get it sold. And it's another opportunity, for St. Louis. This one's going to be the exhibit's called Art of St. Louis. And it showcases local artists. And we have a lot in the St. Louis area. We really do. It's just a matter of getting their names out. That event, once again, will be Friday night at Art Fusion Gallery in historic Laclede's Landing from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's going on. So you can do that. You've also got the other event we were talking about a little bit earlier too. What was it going on? I'm looking forward as well. Appreciate you guys jumping in.
I know David Lee Roth is coming to the Factory. Speaking of the Factory.
Really?
Yeah.
When's David Lee Roth coming to St. Louis?
I believe September. I'll have to check. Did
you text me that, by the way?
I did. I'm hoping to get a hold of his tour manager.
Let me see about that. I didn't know that he was, so he can still perform by himself.
Yeah.
And you still want to see David Lee Roth by himself, not with Van Halen.
He did a solo project called Diamond David Lee Roth. I
think I remember.
You remember Just Like Paradise? He had Steve Vai was his guitarist. Like it was a pretty insane project for sure.
Insane in a positive way?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that's coming up. That's just a month away.
Yeah.
August 25th. David Lee Roth at the Factory. I'm wondering if old Van Halen people that we know would get excited about that. Would you?
Well, yeah. I mean,
especially a venue like that in the Chesterfield area, the Factory. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
You're a big boy for that. You want some David Lee Roth.
Hey, man. Van Halen was,
yeah. Yeah. They were good.
Were a good time.
I was glad that they got better with Sammy Hagar. I didn't think they could upgrade, but they did. I mean, you know that in life. You're like, hey, things are pretty good. I don't think I could upgrade.
Hey, man.
And then you surprise yourself and you're like, oh, I just upgraded.
I think it was just basically two different bands that were just as good, to be honest with you. I love Sammy, too.
I am angering the David Lee Roth lovers of old Van Halen. Original Van Halen.
Yeah, there are people out there, that's for sure.
I know. Another update. You guys go to McDonald's, the Daily Double Cheeseburger. Now part of the chain's popular McValue McDeal options. So they added the Daily Double to its menu. It's not too bad. So starting today at McDonald's in the St. Louis area, you can make the Daily Double a centerpiece of a McValue, McDeal, the McValue. Let me say it. The Daily Double centerpiece of a McValue meal deal for $6 or $7. So there you go. With a 4-piece order of chicken nuggets, small fries, and a small drink. There you go. Bro, Joe's looking at me like, bleh, bleh.
I'm like, are we really talking about this?
Yes, we are. We are talking about it, believe it or not. Hey, I get all these updates and things that are coming to me. So I'm just pushing that out there. Things that are happening throughout the St. Louis area.
Is there a manure dealer somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. We have fun. We talk about people, things, news that's going on. Maybe more from a political standpoint. We don't really get into politics. We don't like to do it that much, but sometimes things just make news that are there. Washington University has done away with their web pages of DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. So many colleges around the country started to eliminate DEI, whether it was hires or admission standards, policies, and Washington University now in our backyard are doing that. St. Louis's leading research university didn't really make a big deal about it, but they did it. They quietly removed references to their, quote, commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Removed them from the websites just because of the rising federal scrutiny of higher education. So that's what's happening. Just getting that news out there, making sure we give you the headlines, some of those things that are happening throughout our area. Something happened earlier. Just be careful. If you're buying gold from somebody, take an expert. Maybe meet at a shop or maybe meet with a trusted expert to know that you're getting what you're paying for.
Ask for an actual appraisal.
Cha-ching, with real paperwork.
Right.
I know we want to believe in that we can get deals. But poor dude out in Festus had a woman sold several fake gold bars over a 2-month period. So, the victim eventually realized it, contacted police. He purchased a total of 14 gold bars. They were 1-ounce gold bars.
How much do you think he paid for them?
I don't know. He said he went to the victim's house to make the sale each time. He bought 2 bars at a time, $4,000 cash. So for $28,000. 7 visits? 10 bars? And
I wonder what he got. Actual like lead painted gold. What?
Yeah, that's what exactly. Do you get your money back? How does that work?
I mean, I would hope, unless it's spent.
Phony gold bars. So they're prosecuting her. They charged this female with 10 counts of forgery.
Good.
Yeah. Gold bars. I mean, who really thinks they can sell fake gold bars and get away with it? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually,
she almost did.
Yeah, but eventually somebody's going to figure it out.
Yeah. She should have stopped at like 2 or 3.
I know. This is we love promoting all the positive in St. Louis. We were just getting the segment out of the way where there were things where people people are going to be people. Human are going to be human wherever they may live, wherever they may be. But this was crazy. Out at the if you haven't been, but they've got the outlets, the St. Louis Premium Outlets in Chesterfield. You had 3 people who were able to steal just under $8,000 worth of clothes. They were seen. I mean, but they were literally, how do you get away with $8,000 worth of clothes from the outlets?
Like, did they go to different, or is it one store that they went to?
Oh, they liked True Religion. True Religion was one of their places.
Mm.
So they were seen leaving. And according to the Chesterfield police, so this happened about a week and a half ago at the True Religion store, the St. Louis Premium Outlets. the store employees, so okay, they noticed 3 people stole clothes at about $8,000. So they were looking, they took off. They looked at surveillance video, they called police, they're like, "Yep, they're leaving. They're leaving." So they went out to try to chase them. And they saw them, they were in Illinois, temp tag, in a 2017 Ford Fusion. But this is where it gets crazy. And I don't know if anybody saw this happening, but they were found or seen on Highway 6440 heading east. And police tried to make a traffic stop, but they took off at speeds over 100 miles an hour.
It's a Ford Fusion.
Going over 100 miles an hour down Highway 64. That's what I'm saying. It's like July 10th. So if anybody was wondering what the heck was going on, that's exactly what's happening in our backyard.
Getaway car of choice, Ford Fusion.
I have yet to see, and I don't want to see, a police chase in the St. Louis area with somebody topping 100 miles per hour and police, like something out of a movie. Have you seen anything like that? I haven't.
No, yeah.
They got away. They literally got away from police in a Ford Fusion. Driver was on the shoulder, cutting back. I mean, obviously, somebody who looked like they were a NASCAR IRL driver. They said they broke off the pursuit for the safety of other drivers. But these people, that wasn't enough. Oh my gosh. So then after being chased and eluding police, like, yeah, we've got it. We did it. They sold the items on Marketplace. And police knew that's exactly what was going to happen. So St. Louis police went to Marketplace. And yep, they had a list of the items that were stolen. And sure enough, they found them on Marketplace. So they arranged to buy the items. And then they found a suspect. And then one led to the next, And then they ended up catching all 3 of them in a 2017 Ford Focus, going over 100 miles an hour down 64, in and out of traffic, using the shoulder. Police couldn't catch them, so they say, yeah, we'll do this for another day. And they eventually found them on Marketplace.
They got away in a Ford Fusion.
I know. But here's the other thing, though. If somebody, that's what I'm getting at. If somebody wants to get away from police, and more police, not all the police departments, but most in the St. Louis area aren't going to chase. How do you get them? Do you try to do a maneuver?
Yeah, if you're
and you try to stop them with your vehicle, because then it gets dangerous, especially on 64. So I understand why they were doing that, Pro Joe.
Yeah, if you get away in a Ford Fusion, you used some sort of tactic that you learned on GTA. I'm just saying.
Damn, you may be right. You might be right. Oh man, that's just crazy to me. Yeah, so they got what was coming to them, though. This is Arch City now. What's happening in your neck of the woods? What's going on throughout the St. Louis area? It's July 22nd. The dog days heat of summer are here. Heat index is over 100 this week. The sun is out. It's a Tuesday morning. Yeah, it's St. Louis sizzling summer. That's what it's supposed to be. We get you up and going every morning. Glad you join us. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing our show, watching us on YouTube and X. And of course, learning about all the shows that we do at the network, luinfo.com. Once again, luinfo.com. Phone number 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. Another story that's one that just, it blows my mind, especially when you think about where St. Louis used to be, where we are. Times change. Things change. People can change. You have to change with the times. Just because things were great at one point in time doesn't mean they're always going to be great. We already know that St. Louis is doing its best right now to help with the perception of our inner city and business. You know, just 2 weeks ago, they announced the entertainment district, where they will have peace officers. I mean, literally what they are, security officers, all around, from the St. Louis Arch out past the America Center, around Busch Stadium, all the way around the soccer area district, and another area, basically just to try to make it, quote, extra safe so that there is no crime, no perceived crime, to change that image. That's what it's about. And I think in time it will work. But what about St. Louis public schools? You want people to come and live in the St. Louis area. And if the public schools aren't there, and families are your lifeline. But now, because of mismanaged funds over the years, lack of funds, lack of students, lack of population, St. Louis public schools were in trouble. Then the tornado hits May 16th, and now we really have an issue. And it's been a story, and some people may not think about it, especially if you don't have kids in that area, but you want your city to be the cog in the wheel. Now, the St. Louis public schools, they have a meeting tonight where the proposal suggests closing 37 schools, leaving 31 schools remaining at the start of the 2026 school year. That's crazy to me. You're talking about 18,000 students. 18,000 students, literally, at, the breakdown might be like 292 kids a school, something of that nature. The problem that you have right now is kids that have to be transported all around. But the schools, they don't have money to, the schools aren't going to be replaced. They're not going to be reopened. The financial situation is extremely overwhelming. Where's the money coming in? Are we going to have attendance? The St. Louis area is expected to have about 280,000 people in the next few years. That's it. 280,000. That's it. Below like St. Charles County. So the enrollment is projected to fall to just under about 12,700 kids in the next 10 years. St. Louis City schools. So how do you keep things open? It's like, oh yeah, we got to keep it open. Nobody wants to live next to a school that's all boarded up. No, of course not. But where's the reality? Where's the black and white facts of the situation? How are you going to make that happen? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm glad I'm not tasked with trying to figure that whole situation out. 7 damaged schools are not going to for sure reopen because of the May 16th tornadoes. And you have about 2,000 kids that you're losing this summer because of displacement, or they're not going back to their schools. So if the board approves the proposal tonight, it's going to mark the largest collection of school closures in the history of St. Louis City. And then you've got schools starting in less than a month. It's a mess. It needs to be taken care of somehow, some way. I don't even know what the answer is. I do know that you have to have a lot of money to change a lot of these situations. And where would the money come from? And how are you going to make the schools viable? And then paying for teachers. I mean, it's just not a situation people want to be involved with, that's for sure. You want to be involved to save our city, but I don't know what the answer is. If there's an answer, if you have an answer, you can feel free, jump in on the chat line. You can watch us on X and YouTube at Arch City Now. Once again, Arch City Now on X and YouTube. If you want to give us a call, give us your ideas, you can do that as well. 855-282-8255. When we come back after the break, some good sound with Matthew Tkachuk. St. Louis's own, just won a Stanley Cup championship with the Florida Panthers. He was over at Children's Hospital yesterday, got married over the weekend, had his day with the cup, took it to the hospital for the kids. Just love the guy. He is a St. Louis icon already, even though he doesn't play here. Stay tuned for that. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, back with more of our show right after this.
You're a legend.
Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0.
This whole situation is getting out of control.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu.
No freak out.
Hot Shots favorites are still there, like the famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger sandwich, the Buffalo Chicken Pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Brown and Crouppen, we get that after an accident, money's tight. That's why we offer so much for free. First call, free. First consultation, free. Stuck at home or in the hospital, we'll come to you for free. So call Brown and Crouppen, where we don't get paid unless you do. And your first consultation is free.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A Ferguson woman is facing charges after Chesterfield police say she and 2 others pulled off a high-dollar theft at the St. Louis Premium Outlets and then led officers on a high-speed chase. Employees estimate a group of 3 stole more than $7,700 worth of clothing. So far, the woman from Ferguson is the only one charged in the case. St. Louis homicide detectives are investigating a stabbing after a person was found dead in the 5600 block of Chamberlain Avenue. No arrests yet. New rules are coming to the St. Charles County libraries for challenging books. Beginning August 1st, library staff will review complaints first. If appealed, 6 of 9 board members must agree to remove a book and read it themselves. The move follows 11 book ban requests since last fall. An extreme heat warning continues today for St. Louis and surrounding towns. Heat index values up to 110 degrees are expected. The warning continues through 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Or the Lou Information Station streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. I'm Jen Austin.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. The extreme heat warning continues today. We'll be getting sunshine, afternoon high air temperature in the mid-90s, but that heat index right around 105. We do have a slim chance of shower. Overnight, a few clouds, upper 70s, more heat and humidity coming up on Wednesday. Sunny, and we're in the upper 90s, heat index about 110 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs at Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City. 314-344-4400.
Looking to get organized and support local? At St. Louis Closet Company, we've been designing custom closets and storage solutions right here in St. Louis for over 30 years. From walk-in closets to home offices and even pantries, we create personalized, organized spaces to fit your lifestyle and your space. Built locally and installed professionally. Call 314-781-9000 for your free estimate or visit stlouisclosetco.com today.
Broadcasting live from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios in Kirkwood.
I once got catfished by a girl in Kirkwood. Before catfishing was really even a thing.
This is the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com with live and on-demand content on YouTube. And catch all of our local shows on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. KLIS 590 AM, Wood River, St. Louis. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Vic Faust here. 7:34 is our time. Projo alongside. It is July 22nd. Okay. What's happening throughout the St. Louis area? What's a big talk about story? It's the heat. It's the heat right now. There's no doubt about it. If anything else is going on, let us know. We always want you guys to jump in the show. You can do so on YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Once again, YouTube and X at Arch City Now. And by the way, If you don't follow us on Facebook, Arch City Now, please do. We just started up that page last week. We'd like to get over 100 followers. The sooner the better. We can start streaming there as well, just to give you another opportunity to watch, to participate in the show. Some people like to do it on Facebook better. Besides listening via 590 at luinfo.com. Once again, luinfo.com. So if you haven't done that, please go to Facebook, Arch City Now, like us. That certainly helps. And like us and subscribe to us on all of our platforms. Phone number to give us a call is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. And then, of course, if you want to email us, you can do so at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. Yeah, 95 today, 98 tomorrow, 99 Thursday, 95 Friday. Oh, the temperature may go down to 93 for Saturday, but back up to 95 for Monday or for Sunday, 96 Monday. It is hot. It is humid. It's going to make it very difficult to be outside. It is what it is. Warm, muggy start to the morning today. Possibility of a scattered shower here or there in the afternoon, but after that, it's all heat. It is sunshine. So plan accordingly with whatever you guys have going on. We really love to promote positive things happening all throughout the St. Louis area. For that, in the middle of July, we thank Matthew Tkachuk for loving St. Louis, still coming back here, still promoting St. Louis. He's arguably one of the most popular hockey guys that's going right now in the NHL. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, played in 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, of course, from the Tkachuk family, brother Brady, dad Keith, a little bit of hockey royalty, all-around good dude, leader of our national team for the hockey team. Literally, I call him the leader. He's the heart and soul of that team. When he was hurt and really couldn't play the final game against Canada in the Four Nations face-off, they weren't the same. He plays, they win. I'll say it. Sorry, Canadian hockey players. I know you get upset at me when I say that, but whatever. It's the truth. That's why they beat Canada the first game. Out-physicaled them, out-toughed them, outscored them. So Matthew Tkachuk, living his best life. He got married Saturday. Imagine this. You win the Stanley Cup for the 2nd straight year. You get married to the love of your life. Oh, yeah, that's on a Saturday in St. Louis. Then you get to have the Stanley Cup for your 24-hour period. That's what all the players do. And he took it to Children's Hospital yesterday. It just gives me chills talking about it. Thank you, Matthew Tkachuk, for what you do for St. Louis, promoting us and giving us a good positive seed. Okay, Sarah says, Projo, I searched Facebook this morning and couldn't find it.
Yeah, I saw that, and unfortunately, I can't respond to her because it's on X. However, it's there. All you have to do is search
Arch City Now on Facebook. Once again, Arch City Now.
If you go to facebook.com/Arch City Now, take you straight to it.
Okay. Can't you just go straight to Facebook? That's what I thought. You go to Facebook?
Yeah. If you type in facebook.com/Arch City Now, it'll take you straight to our page.
No, I get that, but can't you just click on your Facebook icon and type in Arch City Now?
You should be able to search Arch City Now and it'll pop up in the search, but the quickest way to get there?
I'm doing it right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Arch City Now. It's right.
Yeah. Pops right up for me too. So she just might have misspelled something or something. Who knows?
Okay. Thank you. If you have any other questions, you can put it out there on the chat line, or you can email us as well at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. Okay. So Matthew Tkachuk spoke to local media yesterday and was really fantastic, gave the reporters as much time as they wanted. So here's Matthew Tkachuk talking yesterday at Children's Hospital.
It was 1 year ago you were here at St. Louis Children's Hospital. What's the significance to bring the cup to this place in particular?
Yeah, it's a really important place for myself and my family. We've been involved in Children's Hospital wherever I've been throughout my whole life, even going back to my dad playing. He was really heavily involved. So when I was told that my day was today, the 21st, the first thing we decided and what we wanted to do was bring it here to the Children's Hospital. So we're doing that first. normally they say save the best for last, but I think when it comes down to this, the best part of my day is this first stop. Seeing the kids, seeing their faces, seeing their smiles, it just brightens up your day. And I think the rest of us, don't really truly understand what they're going through. And there's probably some really hard, tough days for them. But if I can have, 1 minute of their day, that makes it, such an incredible experience for them. That's what it's all about.
How does today feel relative to last year, doing it all over again?
Yeah, it's a very similar itinerary for myself this year, and just really looking forward to it. When you know kind of what's coming and the reactions you're going to get, it just makes it so special. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be coming in contact with this baby today. So it's what it's all about. I'm just really excited to share it with family and friends.
So you were just assigned today. It just a nice coincidence that it coincided with Saturday as well.
It helped that it was close. So there's some family that was able just to stay in town since the wedding on Saturday. So crazy few days, but a lot of fun, a lot of happy times. Saturday was absolutely incredible, and today's going to be amazing as well.
So the past just 365 days, you got 2 cups, you get married. Where does getting married rank on just the scale of how the emotions felt winning the 2 cups and getting married?
Well, she's right behind you, so it's obviously the best day. No, it was was incredible. Saturday, it's I say we've been planning it for over a year, but Ellie was doing mainly all of the planning, and she did such an incredible job and truly made it just such a special night. And it was a talk of the town, and it was just such a great night for us, and she did such an incredible job, and it was just the whole weekend and everything that led into it was awesome, and cherry on top on Saturday.
And you went through a lot of adversity, especially in that postseason run. When you think about those moments, how much of a relief was it for you to be able to see you guys get to the finish line, being able to contribute in the way that you did?
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, if we would have not finished the job, it would have been just so. It would have been so upsetting, and so. Wouldn't have made anything worth it, when you think about going through and playing through it all. If you lose in the finals, like, you didn't accomplish anything. So, I think for us to finish the job, it made it all worth it. Made that 2.5 months of just getting myself okay enough to play in playoffs. Those were some really tough days, and I mean, you're still feeling a little of the effects even in the summer during some of the rehab I'm going through now. So. Yeah, it just winning the cup, it makes it all worth it. And it makes me standing, touching it, kissing it, everything. It's all worth it.
When you go through this day last year, you go through the day today, you see what Bill did in the offseason and bringing the crew back. How much does that even contribute to the feeling going into next year?
Yeah, it's still so early in summer. I really haven't allowed myself to think too much about next year yet, but incredible July 1st or around that free agency time for us to be able to bring everybody back. Or mainly everybody back, and it's just the greatest asset you can have as a team is experience, and our team has it. So, we're going to go into next year and just try to be a playoff team to start, and then when we get there, see what happens. Awesome. Thank you.
I love him. Love everything about his game. Love who he is. Love how he's promoting St. Louis. We can't have enough people promoting the St. Louis area, so I'm grateful that we do have that. And thankfully, we got a guy who's doing that as well. So Matthew Tkachuk doing what he's doing over there at Children's Hospital. Being around the Cup's kind of cool, especially when the way the Blues won in 2019. The Cup was everywhere. I think most people in the St. Louis area were at an event where the Cup was. Were you? I know you don't get out a ton, but did you ever make it to an event where the Cup was?
I didn't, but I know that it was everywhere.
I was at 2 different events where the Cup was. Touched it. Picked it up, had a chance to do that. But I also had a chance back in 2006 when I was covering the Red Wings in Detroit. I was in sports. They had just beaten the Penguins and Sidney Crosby. And I was in the office with Mike Babcock at the time doing interviews, and you're soaking wet and from everything that's around. And at one point I was like, they were like, you want to drink from the cup? And I'm like, I don't want any part of that cup, man. Anyway, just a really cool thing for St. Louis, that's for sure. This is Arch City Now. It's 7:44. It is July 22nd. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing our shows. Thanks for going to Facebook. as our viewer was talking about earlier, and jumping on and following us, being friends with us from that standpoint. That's a good thing. Events coming up this week throughout the area. Lee Bryce will be over at the factory tomorrow night with special guest Peyton Smith. Those doors open at 6:30. So they said the doors are opening over there at 6:30. So good for them. There's the Art Fusion Gallery. They're having their big event Friday night, 5 to 9 p.m. It's down on Laclede's Landing. That's the Art Fusion Gallery in the historic Laclede's Landing, 5 to 9 p.m. Big success back in April, so they're continuing to try to make sure that everybody finds out about all the artists that are all throughout the St. Louis area. Southwest Airlines, the largest carrier in St. Louis, offering the most flights, changing their seating process. We told you about this. This happens July 29th, next Tuesday. They already removed their free bags policy earlier this year, but now another change is on the way from the airline. You've got the assigned seating for flights. That takes off January 27th of 2026 and afterwards. So also no more checking in 24 hours before departure to make sure you can avoid B and C lines where you're trying to get into A. No more paying to get into the A line. You can also pay for extended leg room on some of the seats on the plane. Those would be in the aisles in certain rows. That's a nice thing. Joe, you and I would need that. We're big dudes.
Yeah. The extra, 5 inches definitely would help.
You and I in a row would take up the entire row.
Yeah.
There would be we'd have to have 2 seats.
Mm-hmm. And the people in front of us would feel our knees in their back.
That's not even funny. Has everybody dealt with somebody in the back of them?
Mm-hmm.
Kicking you, or feels like, wait a second, I'm gonna turn around. Southwest has that going on. Coming up. Also, this week, you've got, when is that? Is that Friday night too? The Spaghetti Wars pilot debuts July 26th. Yeah, that's right. Saturday, over at High Point, St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase. It's a pilot for Italian families taking on Italian families when it comes to the best food that you can make for a family style 100-person sit down meal. I like the name of it, Spaghetti Wars. Just want all my Italian friends going at each other.
It makes me feel like, or it makes me vision people having a food fight throwing spaghetti at each other.
I'm sure that. Yeah. I'm sure you would see that.
If
Why
their
not?
intro doesn't involve that, I don't know what to say.
Of course not. Hey guys, also 11 high-paying jobs throughout the St. Louis area that people may look down on, but you can make pretty good money. Now, this is interesting because we know there's been a lot of people with thievery of copper. We've done those stories for years, but scrap metal collection, old appliances, car parts, construction waste, they hold surprising value. I had no idea that you could make pretty good money with doing that. Pickup truck, a knowledge of what pays. Returns could be solid, allegedly. At least that's what we're told. Commercial cleaning, I could get that. If you're willing to work early in the morning, do late at night in businesses throughout the St. Louis area, there are people who are looking. That doesn't surprise me. I have no knowledge of this, but they're always busy. The mobile car detailing. And there's some really good shops around the St. Louis area who do detailing. There's some detailers who are making over $1,000 a week detailing their cars.
Yeah. That's a good business.
Pool cleaning services, of course. Try building a pool now. You're on a wait list. Literally, throughout the St. Louis metropolitan, you are on a wait list. And if there's any pool owners listening and I'm giving wrong information, let us know. We'll get that out there. But I do know people who are waiting to get pools done. Tow truck operator. But these are skills where, your car can be towed from a lot of different places, and nobody wants their car towed. Pet owners are looking for people who do pet waste removal. They don't want to do it themselves.
Why would you?
You can charge weekly fees to go do that, 10-minute visits, get clients on a rotation. Interesting. Oh, I brought this one up earlier, HVAC techs. You do not want your HVACs on, and they make a lot of money. They do, and they charge a lot for coming out for visits. And the St. Louis area right now is getting hit with heat, and then, of course, HVACs and hot attics. Condensation happens. You get leaks, and then you have issues and problems. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be getting involved in all of that right now. Hopefully people are. You can jump in on the chat line if you want to. YouTube and X, Arch City Now. Once again, X and YouTube, Arch City Now. What's up, Pro Joe?
Now, I will say that the link that I posted in chat for some reason does not work. However, I know, I don't know why. However, if you do go to the search bar and you type Arch City Video with spaces or without, it will take you to something that involves our page.
Okay. You got that going on. Arch City Now, Vic Faust here. If you want to give us a call before we get out of the show, we have a couple more minutes left. You can do that, 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. Coming up after our show today, you've got Hot Take Central 2.0, the former St. Louis Blue Cam Jansen, and St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. They take you from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock every Monday through Friday. And for a list of all the other shows throughout the day, the scheduling of things, you can go to luinfo.com. Once again, that is luinfo.com. Don't worry, Emos is not going out of business, but they are looking to sell their main facility, which is downtown right near the City Museum. They're just looking to move on. They are looking for a long-term lease. They said as part of the sale, they would still stay there, but they're looking for another place to go do what it is that they do, making all the pizza and subs and salads that they're trying to do all over the place. So, we'll see where all of that hits out on where they find what they're looking for, where they want to go. But what they said was they've operated that main distribution and production facility on their 4-acre campus downtown. So now they just want a new long-term 15-year, what they call, I guess, master lease with some renewal options. So, we'll see where they end up. Projo's prediction is west, but I don't know where west would be.
Well, like West County.
Yeah, but real estate is expensive out in West County. I know emos is emos,
right?
But I could see that. But man,
I just feel like it's
real estate is expensive out west.
I feel like wherever it's going to be, it's not going to be actually in the city limits. It's going to be in St. Louis County.
Yeah, I guess. No, that would make sense. I could see that. Most definitely, I could see that. You've also got. Oh, wait a second. Are you kidding me? We were talking about. We had a flare with Italian meals, emos. We were talking about the spaghetti wars that's going on. What do you think about the 13 restaurant chains allegedly that serve the best spaghetti and meatballs in the United States? Chains.
Dare I say?
Well, I'm trying to find what number one is here really quick as I look at.
I have a feeling I know what it is.
Take a guess.
Olive Garden.
Yes.
Yeah.
They rate Olive Garden number one for spaghetti. And maybe people like the Olive Garden spaghetti.
Now, I will say that they do have a really good spaghetti carbonara.
Allegedly, their meatballs get special praise.
Yeah, I've never
have it
tried.
in St. Louis. I don't know. Buca de Beppo Family Style Fest was number 2. Number 3 was Maggiano's. Number 4, Romano's Macaroni Grill. And we'll give you the top 5. Old Spaghetti Factory's Trolley Car Dining. Okay, you got your list. There you go. Have fun with it. From a sports standpoint, the Cardinals play their second game in Colorado tonight. Thankfully, they're playing the league's worst team in the Colorado Rockies. Last night, they had 15 hits, but only 6 runs. At least they won. That's key. They won. They're 3 games over 500, 52 and 49, 8.5 games out of first place, 3.5 games behind in the wild card. So they get back to action tonight. They play another one in Colorado tomorrow. Then they come back home for 4 straight games, a very important series with the San Diego Padres. Also, speaking of baseball, a lot of hype continued to come out from the Savannah Bananas. We did a lot on the Savannah Bananas yesterday because of the weekend show, but they put out a ton of videos about how amazing their stop was in St. Louis over the weekend. So I love the fact that they just didn't come here and sell out 2 games and say, yep, see ya, suckers, we're out. They're like, wow, St. Louis and the people who came out and celebrated with them before the game in the heat and after the game, they said just thank you for all the Savannah Banana fans throughout the St. Louis area.
Yeah, if you go to their TikTok, there is a million TikToks of the St. Louis.
Do you know they have more followers, the Savannah Bananas, on TikTok than all the Major League Baseball the teams where they visited combined have? I think they've been to, I don't know, maybe 12 parks, maybe 12 ballparks. I'm not sure, but it may be combined more TikTok followers than 12 Major League Baseball teams, which is pretty damn cool. I mean, that's what they did. They went out there, didn't do advertising, got it all themselves, and then they went out. And I was just grateful to see them promote St. Louis after they left as well.
Is there a name for the league since there's, 5 teams now?
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't know. I just saw their stuff popping in and out all throughout the day yesterday. I was like, damn, they're still promoting St. Louis. I love it. Way to promote the city and the good time that they had here, despite it being freaking hot as heck over the weekend. And we talked about the heat already. It's going to be pretty nasty today for the rest of the week as well. I mean, it is what it is. It's summer in St. Louis. That's what we do. Anyway, we'll see where it all comes today. If you guys ever have stories, if you have ideas, if you have chat, you can jump in on the chat line and let us know. We will cover those stories for you as well. We just want to promote St. Louis. We love what we do here. We kickstart the network off every morning, 6 to 8 a.m., getting you up and going with Arch City Now. Once again, the event Projo was talking about, David Lee Roth, The Factory, August 29th. We'll try to get him over here to make a stop. That would be nice. Projo, you have history interviewing rock stars. I don't know. Maybe we'll have an insight into David Lee Roth.
Let's hope.
And we'll get him onto the show and see what we can do. Guys, we love you. Thank you again for joining us every day. Arch City Now. If you want to email us, you can do that at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. And of course, check out all the shows, luinfo.com. Once again, luinfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0 coming up next with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes. Once again, thank you for joining us on this Tuesday, July 22nd. Stay as cool as you possibly can, but if you got to be outside, you know what's waiting for you. I'm Vic Faust for Projo. This is Arch City Now. Have a great day.